with Joseph Graham. How are we doing today, Joe?
If I was any better, I couldn't stand myself, but I've been known to lie about that.
So you've had a hard day on the road. So thanks for being in today and doing that. So tell us what you're doing now. You're hauling chemicals now. We're going to get into your background in a minute, but tell us what you're doing right now.
Right now, I work for a company called PVS Transportation,
Right.
which is a part of the PVS chemical family.
Okay.
And basically, what I do is I haul ferric chloride, ferrous chloride, sulfuric acids, caustics, stuff like that to wastewater treatment plants and any type of facility that would have a wastewater treatment plant for whatever reason. And I basically bring the chemicals to them
Are,
and put it in their tanks.
cool. Are you delivering it? Are you actually doing the delivery? Are you dressing up in all the rubber suit and all that
Yeah,
stuff that we? Yeah. So I
yeah.
know it, and people think trucking's cool in summer unless you got to dress in one of those rubber suits, and it's not as cool as you think. Right?
I'll be honest with you. As a chemical driver, I prefer to work in the wintertime because
Yeah.
that suit is so much more tolerable in the wintertime.
Oh
It
yeah.
actually keeps you warm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I used to work for a company that did similar things, and I remember we used to deliver to boiler rooms. Our stuff was boiler chemicals, so we'd stand in a 100-degree boiler room in a rubber suit delivering chemicals. It was much fun. Let me tell you that. So
Yeah, the old green Gumby suit, or as I like to call them, the watermelon.
yeah, yeah. Your hands would melt in the rubber gloves. So listen, you give us an idea of your daily run now because you do a lot of you're kind of in a specialized industry the way I was. So give us an idea of your day. When do you start? Kind of how long do you go? That kind of thing.
Generally, I work just about 14 hours every day. Matter of fact, I ended my day with 49 minutes left today. Mondays are my brutal day
Oh, okay.
because I have a little bit of a commute to get
Right.
to my truck, and then I start my day. But after that, it's not so bad. Generally, it's 14 hours. Um, I run the Pittsburgh market really hard.
Okay.
Our plant is just south of Pittsburgh by about 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Um, I go all the way down to lovely Roanoke, Virginia, which is where I am tonight,
Okay.
and we go out to Detroit. So basically, I do about a five to seven state region. Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Maryland, Virginia. That would be the basic lane where I spend the majority of my time.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So, and do you get control of your week? Are you able to do the deliveries in the order that you want, or is it a set
No,
schedule?
no, no. That's one thing that impresses me about. I work for a manufacturer. I guess that's one thing I should say. I don't work for a common carrier. I work
Right.
for a private company
Yeah.
who is hauling their product.
Yeah.
So I don't do common carrier type freight.
Right.
So that is one thing that impresses me with the way they do things is even though it's per se not a trucking company, they treat it like a trucking company,
Okay.
and they have, I think, pretty close to one of the state of the art dispatch systems that I've been with, and they are very very good about making sure that they keep their trucks loaded and moving. And about reloading them, trying to keep the deadhead miles down. They do a phenomenal job at it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I worked for I always tell people if you want to be a company driver, private carriers are the way to go.
Yes.
That's where the money is. That's where the benefit. I call it executive trucking. So it sounds like you get the same. So how'd you get into trucking? What's your background? I know you were an owner operator in the past. How'd you get into the industry?
How did I get into trucking?
Yeah.
Um, the long and short end of it is I got into trucking because I was trying to find an easy way out. Um, and what I mean by that is once I graduated high school, I thought I was a big man.
Yeah.
Keyword thought.
Yeah.
And I moved to Chicago.
Okay.
Well, I learned real quick that Chicago wasn't the area for a country boy. Um, so I headed back home and I was working for Walmart at the time. I was a what they back then they called it a support manager.
Right.
And I just didn't see that career going anywhere. And 'I'd have been 21 years old, and I didn't know where my life was going. I didn't know what was going to go on, and I was just looking for a way out. And it was blitz is what they call it.
Right.
And so I'll never forget it. This woman, she worked for Schneider National, showed up. She had this long trench coat on with a cowboy hat. I'll never forget it because I looked at her like, "What in the world is
Yeah.
that?" Yeah, And I talked to her for a little bit, and she told me a little bit about trucking, and I was like, "Why not?" I've always been the guy. What